Hello everybody, this is the second class for the 12th grade and today we're going to talk about defining human rights. Okay, the first thing you're going to do is listen to an audio that talks about human rights. Before you hear it, write in your notebook the things you already know about the topic and write a list of ideas of things that may appear in the audio. La clase pasada, chicos, nosotros ya hablamos un poco de los derechos humanos, ya muy general, de manera muy general. La idea de esta clase, chicos, es que va a ser enfocado solamente en eso y que ustedes acá me respondan qué cosas ya saben sobre el tema, en inglés, en su cuaderno. ¿Ya? ¿Qué ideas creen ustedes que podrían ser incluidas en el aula? Háganme una listita en el cuaderno. ¿Ok? Let's continue. Okay, could this happen? Okay, listen to the audio and answer the following questions. What type of recording is it? Is it an interview, a piece of news, or other kind of thing? B. What is its purpose? Those are the two main questions. What type of recording? A purpose. Si no entienden en realidad lo que dicen las preguntas, primero, no se los puede traducir. Y segundo, lo ideal es que ustedes busquen palabras como recording, type, interview, piece of news y purpose para intentar entender qué dicen las preguntas. Ahora, les escuchen nuevamente el audio, observen las imágenes, and write how these images are related or linked to the audio. We have a group of many people and the world behind. We have people doing the work in black and white, walking through the forest. We have a hammer that I think shows an image of justice, I think, and the number 30. Now we'll give you some time to listen to the audio and do this thing calmly.
Track 61, Student's Book, Unit 5, page 118, Exercise 1.
What are human rights? A human is a member of the Homo sapiens species, a man, woman, or child. In other words, a person. Rights are guarantees. So human rights are the rights you have simply because you're human. The idea of human rights is that each one of us, no matter who we are or where we are born, is entitled to the same basic rights and freedoms. Human rights are not privileges, and they cannot be granted or revoked. They are inalienable and universal. That may sound simple, but it gets incredibly complicated as soon as anyone tries to put the idea into practice. What exactly are the basic human rights? Who gets to pick them? Who enforces them, and how? The history behind the concept of human rights is long. Throughout the centuries and across societies, religions, and cultures, we have struggled with defining notions of rightfulness, justice, and rights. But one of the most modern affirmations of universal human rights emerged from the ruins of World War II, with the creation of the United Nations. In 1948, the UN General Assembly adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which was written by an international committee chaired by Eleanor Roosevelt. This document lays the basis for the modern international human rights law. The Declaration is based on the principle that all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. It lists 30 articles recognizing, for instance, the principle of non-discrimination and the right to life and liberty. It refers to negative freedoms, like the freedom from torture or slavery, as well as positive freedoms, such as the freedom of movement and residence. It encompasses basic civil and political rights, such as freedom of expression, religion, or peaceful assembly, as well as social, economic, and cultural rights, such as the right to education and the right to freely choose one's occupation and be paid and treated fairly. In past decades, international human rights law has grown, deepening and expanding our understanding of what human rights are and how to better protect them. So, if these principles are so well developed, then why are human rights abused and ignored time and time again all over the world? The problem, in general, is that it is not at all easy to universally enforce these rights or to punish transgressors. Even though the Universal Declaration of Human Rights is highly authoritative and respected, it is a declaration. It is not a hard law. Then, when individual countries violate it, the mechanisms to address those violations are weak. So, although the main bodies within the UN in charge of protecting human rights monitor and investigate violations, they cannot force states to change a policy or compensate a victim, for example.
Okay, let's continue. Listen to the first part of the audio again. Aquí pueden que ustedes volver el video atrás y escucharlo otra vez o simplemente reproducir el audio otra vez. Putting special attention to specific words and then answer the questions. Recuerden, no tienen que entender todas las palabras del audio. Lo que tienen que hacer es buscar palabras específicas que están acá en las preguntas. Palabras clave. Si equivocan con la respuesta, no importa. Pero la idea es que de verdad intenten. Okay, question A. How are human rights defined? B. Is the concept of human rights something recent? C. When did the UN General Assembly adopt the Universal Declaration of Human Rights? D. How many types of freedoms are there? Give examples. Now, listen to the audio again and complete the following ideas in a way that seems more right to you. La idea es que ustedes, chicos, van a completar esto con la información que ustedes creen que debería ir dentro del resto de la oración. Si se dan cuenta, esto es muy general. No es como que ustedes digan, esto va a ser solamente este punto del audio. No. Podrían ser varios puntos del audio, pero ustedes tienen que elegir cómo completar esto. The first one is human rights. Then we have the Declaration of Human Rights. And then we have when a human right is violated. Recuerden escuchar el audio varias veces para poder responder esto. Ahora continuemos con la última parte de la clase. Lo estamos haciendo muy rápido en realidad este video. Write your opinion about the following questions. Eso es su opinión. Esto no es del audio. Esto es lo que ustedes piensan en inglés, por favor. 1. What do you think is the most important human right? Why? 2. What is, in your opinion, the most neglected human right? And 3. Look at your own country. Do you think human rights are promoted and protected where you live? Why or why not? Chicos, recuerden, para poder entender las preguntas, lo ideal es que ustedes busquen algunas palabras, no la pregunta completa. Ahora, si aún así no logran entender, traducen la pregunta. Pero la respuesta, por favor, en inglés. Ahora sí, la última parte de la clase. Speaking. Listen to the explanation and repeat the words that appear next. Bien. Chicos, esta parte es pronunciación. Son sonidos que con ustedes yo ya he trabajado, pero tenemos que verlos otra vez. Los sonidos que tenemos acá son la V y la Z. The, za. No sé si en el audio que estoy grabando se va a escuchar este sonido, así que les voy a explicar cómo se hace. Para hacer ambos sonidos, the y za, tienen que poner la punta de la lengua entre los dientes, o mordiéndola. La diferencia entre este sonido y este sonido es que este lo hacemos con voz. Eso quiere decir que que nos vibran las cuerdas vocales. Si ustedes hacen ese sonido, les va a picar un poquito la lengua y si se colocan la mano en la garganta, van a dar cuenta que vibra. Como un teléfono. Este sonido, en cambio, es solamente aire. Ustedes ponen su lengua entre los dientes y dejan salir el aire. Si ponen la mano en la garganta, se van a dar cuenta que no vibra, porque este no tiene voz. Ahora, les voy a decir las palabras rápido primero y después lento para que ustedes las repitan. The, those, them, their, those, they. The, those, them, their, those, they. Ahora con think throughout. Think throughout. Ahora, cuando ustedes me manden, chicos, evidencia de su trabajo, yo me conformo con una foto de su cuaderno o con un audio de ustedes diciendo estas palabras. Con eso me basta y me sobra. Esto es todo por hoy. Nos vemos en la próxima clase.